Guest compensation expenses have increased significantly this quarter. From a finance perspective, when should a hotel offer compensation?
Compensation should be offered when there is a genuine service failure that materially impacts the guest experience or brand expectation. In luxury hospitality, effective guest recovery is essential for protecting long-term guest loyalty and brand reputation. However, compensation decisions should remain structured, reasonable, and aligned with hotel policy. The objective is not simply providing refunds, but restoring guest confidence while maintaining financial discipline and service consistency.
How can finance monitor compensation expenses more effectively?
Finance should track compensation expenses through dedicated reporting categories and regular operational reviews. It is important to analyze compensation trends by department, issue type, and root cause. For example, separating renovation-related complaints, housekeeping issues, and service delays provides better operational visibility. In addition, monitoring repeat incidents helps identify systemic operational weaknesses requiring corrective action. Compensation tracking should support both financial control and service improvement initiatives.
What situations usually result in refunds or compensation requests?
The most common situations involve significant service disruptions or unmet guest expectations. Examples include room maintenance issues, excessive noise, reservation errors, delayed check-in, cleanliness concerns, or inconsistent service delivery. In luxury hotels, guest expectations are particularly high, so even relatively small operational failures may affect satisfaction levels significantly. Online reputation exposure has also increased guest sensitivity towards service quality and recovery responsiveness.
How do service failures impact brand reputation financially?
Service failures can have both immediate and long-term financial impact. In the short term, compensation costs and refunds directly affect profitability. More importantly, repeated service issues may damage guest loyalty, online reputation scores, and future pricing power. In today's market, negative reviews can influence booking decisions very quickly, particularly within luxury and international segments. Therefore, strong guest recovery processes are not only operationally important, but also strategically important for long-term revenue protection.
Should compensation policies be more standardized across departments?
Yes, I believe greater standardization would improve both operational consistency and financial control. Clear compensation guidelines help departments respond more confidently while reducing inconsistent decision-making. Standardization also improves approval discipline, reporting visibility, and fairness across guest situations. However, flexibility should still exist for exceptional VIP or high-risk reputation cases where management discretion may be necessary. The key is balancing structured policy with operational judgment.
If staff become too restricted, guest recovery may feel robotic.
I completely agree that guest recovery must remain personalized and service-oriented. The purpose of policy standardization is not limiting hospitality, but ensuring consistency, accountability, and appropriate escalation. Empowered staff can still deliver genuine recovery experiences while operating within reasonable financial and operational guidelines. In luxury hospitality, emotional recovery is often just as important as financial compensation.
What should be our top priority to reduce compensation cases moving forward?
The most effective long-term strategy is reducing the root causes of service failures, rather than focusing only on compensation control. This requires stronger operational consistency, staff training, preventive maintenance, and proactive communication with guests. In addition, improving escalation procedures and cross-department coordination can help resolve issues earlier, before compensation becomes necessary. Ultimately, prevention is far more effective than recovery from both financial and brand reputation perspectives.
Are compensation expenses becoming excessive?
Compensation expenses have increased, but the more important issue is understanding the root causes behind the trend. In hospitality, some level of guest recovery cost is unavoidable, especially during renovation periods or operational disruption. However, If compensation frequency continues rising, it may indicate broader service consistency or operational coordination challenges that require attention. The objective should not simply be reducing compensation costs, but preventing recurring service failures while maintaining financial discipline and guest trust. Long-term operational improvement is more sustainable than reactive compensation.
How do we protect brand reputation during renovation?
Protecting brand reputation during renovation requires proactive communication, operational planning, and consistent guest recovery execution. Guests are generally more understanding when expectations are communicated clearly before arrival, and operational disruption is managed professionally. In addition, departments must coordinate closely to minimize noise impact, service interruption, and negative guest experience. Strong service recovery, personalized communication, and fast issue resolution are especially important during renovation periods. Ultimately, transparency and operational consistency are critical for protecting long-term brand perception.
Should approval authority become stricter?
I believe approval controls should become clearer and more structured, rather than simply stricter. Strong governance is important for maintaining financial discipline and operational consistency, especially when compensation expenses are increasing. However, frontline teams still need enough flexibility to respond quickly to genuine guest recovery situations. The ideal approach is balanced escalation guidelines with defined approval thresholds, clear accountability, and proper reporting visibility. In luxury hospitality, operational responsiveness must remain aligned with financial control.
How much flexibility should staff have? Frontline staff should have enough flexibility to resolve minor guest issues quickly and confidently without creating unnecessary escalation delays. In hospitality environments, fast response and empathy are extremely important for effective guest recovery. However, flexibility should still operate within clearly defined compensation guidelines and escalation procedures. Strong training and communication help employees make appropriate decisions while maintaining consistency and accountability. Can compensation actually improve loyalty? Yes, effective service recovery can absolutely strengthen guest loyalty when handled professionally and sincerely. In some situations, guests may become even more loyal after a well-managed recovery experience because they feel the hotel genuinely values their satisfaction. However, compensation alone is not enough. The quality of communication, responsiveness, empathy, and issue resolution often has greater long-term impact than the financial compensation itself. The objective is restoring trust and guest confidence, not simply providing refunds. How damaging are online complaints? Online complaints can have significant reputational and commercial impact, particularly in luxury hospitality where guest expectations are very high. Today's travelers rely heavily on online reviews when making booking decisions, especially international and corporate guests. Repeated negative feedback may affect brand perception, ADR strength, and long-term guest confidence. However, professional response management and strong service recovery can help reduce reputational damage and demonstrate operational accountability. Can service recovery improve guest retention? Yes, strong service recovery can play a major role in guest retention and long-term loyalty. Guests understand that operational issues may occasionally occur, especially in complex hotel environments. What often matters most is how the hotel responds when problems arise. Fast resolution, personalized communication, and genuine attention to guest concerns can significantly strengthen trust and emotional connection with the brand. In many cases, effective recovery experiences become opportunities to reinforce long-term guest relationships.